Class, for putting our words in our notebook, we are going to start on page 6. So find page 6. Class, what do we have on page 6? Good, we have our multi-letter consonant patterns. Remember, all our phonograms make either a vowel sound or a consonant sound. And so here we've got all of our two or more letter phonograms that make consonant sounds. All right, if you don't have anything written in on the top line here, go ahead and write in z. You write that and say it while you write it. All right, now we had a word that had our z in it today. It was the word math. Is this saying its first or second sound in math? Show me. Good, it's saying its first sound. So if you don't have anything written here, we're going to write it right here. If you do have it written, just do it on your practice paper. So go ahead and write math and mark it. All right, make sure it looks like that, class. I'm using pen just so you can see it better because it's on the practice paper, but keep using pencil because you're doing it in your notebook. I'm just doing it on practice paper. When I put it in my notebook, when I'm teaching today, I am going to use pencil. So don't think I'm saying we should use pen because we should not be using pen, or you should not. All right, so this is what our math should look like. All right, now we're going to go back up to page 3. Page 3. Because we had an open syllable word where our u, u, was saying its name where it was saying you. Our word was music. All right, class, show me where are we going to write music on our u, u, line. Let's see, u, u. All right, so remember that's its second sound, which is its name, not the nickname, but the name. All right, so right here, put your finger, so it's going to go right here where our two and our u meet. All right, what's our first syllable? Good, mew. And the second syllable? Good, zik. And which z do we use? Good, we use s, z. All right, write music and mark it. All right, make sure your word looks like this. All right, nice job. Our next word is tax, class. Let's see, if you don't have anything written in here, you could go ahead and write tax in there. So again, page 3, that's our a making its first sound in tax. I'll show you one other place you can write it if you don't already have something written there, and that is on page 9. All right, so this is our closed syllable page. If you didn't have anything written in here, you could go ahead and write tax right there. All right, so write it, see if there's anything to mark. All right, so for tax, there's nothing to mark. All right, but let's stay on this page because we haven't put in our last two consonant rules yet, and one of them we would use if we wanted to make tax plural. Class, what does plural mean? Good, plural means more than one. All right, so if you said, I have to pay my taxes, then we would use this next consonant rule. So up here for consonants, we have our C rule. C followed by E, I, or Y says we have our G rule. G followed by E, I, or Y may say J. All right, let's write in our next rule. So right here, we're going to write a X because our next rule is about X. All right, so we've got our X. And then the rule for X is that this is never followed by S. This, all right, and then here we're going to write is never followed by S. Is never followed by S. All right, X is never followed by S. The reason that, oh, right, I already said, so when we're making things plural, right, we could never just add S, because if we just added S, we wouldn't hear it. If we tried to write tax, we wouldn't really hear that. Tax, we wouldn't hear that. So what we have to do is we have to add ES, and then it would get its own syllable. So let's practice that. Let's go back to our tax. Wait, class, can you tell me, is tax a noun or a, well, oh gosh, it can be a verb too. But if you say there is a tax on gas, then tax is a thing. All right, so tax in that sentence was a noun. So let's go back to our kinds of nouns, and then we will, oh gosh, what am I doing? We'll see what it looks like in the singular and then in the plural. Right, just as soon as I find where our, nope, that's pronouns. All right, where's our singular and plural nouns? I think they're on the last page I looked on, 25. All right, 25. All right, so up here, tax would be considered a regular verb. So the singular is just tax. Let's write and mark tax. All right, so that one's easy. We'll come over to the plural, it's taxes. Class, how many syllables are in taxes? Taxes. Say it for me and show me how many syllables. Good, there are 2 syllables. Class, so anytime we have a word that ends with X and we want to add S, we can't just add S, we have to add ES, and that gives us another syllable. As, right? Okay, so go ahead and write tax as, make sure you put that syllable break in there. So we've got tax, as, all right, so, and that's going to happen every time we have a word that ends with x and we want to add an S, like in foxes or boxes. Okay. Great, so we learned a new consonant rule today. That's great. Okay, let's see. Oh, now we'll go back up to the front because, we had or closer to the front, we had a verb today. The verb was stand. Class, stand does not use ed-dit to make it past tense. So what kind of verb is stand if it doesn't use ed-dit to make it past tense? All right, excellent. It is an irregular verb. So go to page 19 where we have our irregular verbs. Find your first free line. All right, so our present tense is stand. Write that and mark it. All right, make sure yours looks like that. All right, let's go ahead and do our present and ongoing one next, which is standing. Now stand, we don't have to do anything to it before we add that ing. So all we need to do is write our helping verb is, write our base word stand, and then stick that ing in its own syllable on the end. All right, so we have present tense stand, present and ongoing is standing, and next column is past tense. What's our past tense? Good, the past tense is stood. Which do we use in stood? Good, we use oo. So go ahead and write stood. Say the sounds while you write them. D. All right, since we're almost finished, let's go ahead and finish out that line. Our past and ongoing would be has stood. She has stood in line all day. So all we do is add that helping verb has, and then our past tense stood. Has stood. Has stood. All right, nice job, class. We had one more verb that we did today, and that was the verb fill. All right, but fill does use ed-dit to make it past tense. So fill is not irregular. It's what? Regular, right? Regular verbs use ed-dit. So just flip your notebook over. My, we don't have too many regular verbs yet. Yikes. So our first line, let's go ahead and write fill. Remember to use what rule at the end? Good, our floss rule. We often double F, L, or S after a single vowel at the end of a one-syllable word. All right, our present and ongoing would be is filling. Again, all we have to do is write our helping verb and stick that ing on in its own syllable. We don't have to do anything to our base word. So is filling. All right, fill is filling. So we do use ed-dit. So our past tense is filled. See how many syllables filled is filled. Remember, ed-dit often does not get its own syllable. And this is an example. So we're just going to write the base word, stick the ed-dit on, no syllable break. Go ahead and do that for filled. Nice job if you're able to get that marking by yourself. All right, and our last tense is just has filled. She has filled her water bottle twice today. Has filled. So again, just write your helping verb has, and then the past tense filled. Has filled. All right, nice job, class. That is the end of this video. We'll put our words in our lesson section and write some sentences in our next video.